Ding, ding, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 10-8 podcast. I am one half of your hosting duo, JoJo, with my great friend and partner in crime, Shaquille, over on the side. Thank you for listening to the unanimously best combat sports podcast out there. Please give us a like, a subscribe, especially if you like to talk to us some more about fighting. I like fighting. Do you like fighting? I love fighting. But I don't like fighting you on having to press that like button and subscribing. But how you doing today, Shaquille?
Dude, I'm really good. I mean, there's so much going on in the MMA world. I mean, not even just UFC, Bellator. I mean, it's just great. It's always a great time of year once you get past the initial hump of the fight starting out. I'm just super excited for everything. How's everything on your end, man?
Everything is A-okay with me, man. There's so much spicy drama, and you know how I like my spicy MMA drama, like sriracha hot, man. There's just so much going on right now, especially in the wake of Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. So much tea to drink that I can hardly drink it myself. So I decided, hey, how about I share it with you and with the rest of the people who decide to hear me babble, hear you babble about the combat sports world. Anyway, what we got going on in the world of, probably the UFC, let's be honest.
Dude, let's just go ahead and talk about what you just brought up. I don't think we can just leave it there. What are your thoughts about the Colby versus Masvidal fight?
It was generally just expected. And one word, expected.
Agreed. No, if there was one word,
everyone was kind of seeing that coming, but we were kind of hoping to get more entertainment, especially with all the drama and the backstory and the preamble and everything that got us all hyped.
We were there.
It got us all just rock hard with the excitement of this fight. But it was kind of to be expected, especially
Agreed.
Stylistically,
Yeah. I will say, I'm going to give Jorge a little bit of props. I mean, he just was stuck defensively, but man, I mean, he mitigated a lot of things that I thought we were live texting, and I was just like, oh, this is about to get worse. This is about to get worse. But,
I honestly did not see Jorge getting subbed or finished, simply because yes, Colby is a great wrestler, but he's not like a slick submission,
right?
Submission artist. He'll just get you down there and just ring you out until
I expected, I expected there to be. I guess I expected Colby to open him up more, just be in a dominant position and be able to cut him open. You're probably right. I didn't expect Colby to necessarily finish him. I just thought, I thought it was gonna. I think after the third round or something like that, one of those early rounds, I was just like, oh man, if Colby gets on top, this is this is gonna be a long bloody night.
And he found himself there, but it doesn't just end at the fight, Shaquille.
I know.
Colby didn't just combat Jorge in the ring. He also has been combating him on social media. How you feel about that, man? The smack, literally, he's posted 10 things, and every single time he posts, he tags Colby in it, tagged Drake in one of them, because of course we all know that
shit is. Man, when he tagged Drake, he was just like, man, dinner's on me. I'm like, dude, you lost me $250,000. This better be the best goddamn dinner of my life. And
exactly.
What you mean? But
exactly. Fuck out of here. And of course, Drake has too much money to truly care.
Right. Facts.
But
Facts.
Colby Covington keeps his chin up and is not worried about that and continues talking all the shit he can and just basking in the glory of finally defeating his once called friend and now rival Jorge Masvidal. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of had a chuckle here and there. It's just, I'm not the biggest fan of him and his like general views on everything. But I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he's a man. He's a man in the octagon too.
I know. I mean, like, he's also kind of cringy. Let's be honest. But like, just him, just like getting on Jorge's like just nerves. It's just funny.
Oh, dude, it's literally like a little brother, big brother kind of like, it's just like, I know you can't do anything because mom's right there kind of shit. So I'm just going to annoy the fuck out of you.
That's true. And then on top of that, Ben Askren starts talking about, did you see Jorge's tattoo?
Yeah, I was dead when Ben, I was just like, this is a good feeling for Ben right now. Ben's in a good place.
Yes. So, you guys don't know, Ben Askren has been really vocal on social media about Jorge's his recent tattoo that he got of him throwing like a flying knee with like the Infinity Stones.
Literally the Infinity Stones.
And it's only like
Doctor Strange.
It's not all of them. I don't know. He has the Infinity Stones around, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not the greatest tattoo in the world, but
when is MMA fighters ever known for great tattoos?
Not a lot. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people in MMA have like the greatest tattoos. I would probably maybe extend that to like a lot of sports in general.
Yeah.
But MMA is definitely known for like the weird, edgy, like.
Well, and the thing is, let's be real. They have no shirt on and shorts.
That's true.
Like you visibly can see their shirt.
That's
tattoos.
true. Like what if like a bunch of basketball players played with like skins?
Oh man, they would get exposed so fast.
Yeah, bruh. Bruh, exactly.
But in other recent news, how do you like this? Michael Chandler, Tony Ferg, May 7th.
Man,
Phoenix undercard for the belt. What do you think, man? This kind of I don't want to say it came out of nowhere. This has been teased somewhat, but
it was kind of like the match to make. But man, I just don't want to see Tony take any more punishment, man. Like the man has been hit very hard, very often. He's been stretched out. And he's so tough, but like, man, I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see him. I want to see him take like fun fights. Like
who would you have him fight?
Man, like Nate Diaz or something.
I think Tony Ferguson is. I mean, I don't have to say I think. He still wants to win, right? He still
does.
Like okay, so let's just play out a possible timeline. Say Tony Ferguson wins. Then what?
Well, then a lot of people are going to try and capitalize on what they believe to be a declining. Well, they already are. Mm-hmm. But I think it'll be the same thing, except like now he has like slightly more like that tiny bump up in, in like prevalence.
Yep.
That people will still want to like come at. I know Gregor Gillespie has been really trying to like come at Tony for that fight because, they see a very declining opponent with a name,
right,
and they immediately want to like jump on that fight.
Which is like just immediately. Like, hey man, it gotta be like people act like. I mean, obviously Tony Ferguson has had a skid, but he's still a skilled guy. So sleep on him. You got to bring all your tools, be on your P's and Q's. But as of late, he has been a beautiful fighter, and people see that as an opportunity. But I kind of want to see a little second burst from Tony Ferguson, and I think this fight puts us in a position to really, see what he has left in the tank.
Yeah, man. I really don't think. I don't think we will. Like, I don't think. I think it's probably like you're emptying what's left.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate, but I just feel like But
I feel like if you're Tony Ferguson, and you're taking a high level fight, or you want to take a high level fight, not necessarily a fun fight, but I think this is one of those moments where it's just like you go out on your shield, and this really determines your fate. But let's say he went up against somebody who was more of a fun fight and ended up losing that fight too, then it's just the cachet is even worse. But at least you lost to somebody like a Michael Chandler who's out of this world. But I think he can present some interesting issues. Maybe he's a little bit too far, but we'll see. Obviously, Chandler's coming off of a war against Justin Gaethje, raring to get back in there and get that W. But yes, I think this is a good fight.
it is. I mean, it's a potential banger, or it's going to be like just, I don't know how Tony has been for the last 3 fights. Like, just like absolutely just
Hittable.
Like brutal beating that you just don't want to see him go through like again.
Have you ever rewatched the Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson?
Bruh, I'm done rewatching that fight. I'm done. I can't watch that shit.
Yeah, that one's hard.
I can't watch that shit anymore, man. I don't fuck with that. I don't mess with that anymore. Like, no more. None of that. None of that. Anyway.
Yep.
Some more news. Kayla Harrison, of course. I feel like it's kind of just old. But, like, Kayla Harrison has re-signed a multi-fight deal with the PFL. It's looking like the conditions are that she has to – that they will – really try and do like cross promotion with Bellator to be able to get the Cyborg fight, and that they really will, like the PFL really will try to like make it happen. So she's back. She's back at her own place. We were all hoping that maybe she'd go to the UFC and fight like a Amanda Nunes. Currently, I generally think that, she has the potential to be, like, probably the best, like, the strongest woman fighter on the planet. What do you think? What do you think about that? Would you have gone back to the PFL, or would you have stayed, or would you have signed with the UFC?
Well, I believe Bellator and PFL had the highest offers. I believe Bellator set the offer at the highest. PFL ended up matching that offer, and then she ended up going with the PFL, which is interesting to me. For this reason, because she said she wants to fight. And something we don't know is the terms of the deal. Obviously, we know the terms of the deal with the PFL more so because they are season-based. So I would like to know more details about what the Bellator deal was about, but based on the things that Kayla Harrison has been saying in the news, to know that both the offers were the same and PFL just matched them, it's a curious. It piques my interest. It makes me wonder why she didn't go to Bellator to absolutely be able to take a fight and move her legacy forward, which she has brought up in the news multiple times. Now, if they think they're going to do this cross promotion with Bellator, I just think that's extremely optimistic, idealistic. If it happens, that would be awesome, but it would be the first time that something like this had happened. So I don't know. I mean, if they could bridge that gap, that would be awesome. But when I hear Kayla Harrison talk about her legacy and her wanting to fight these girls, I just don't see a fight. I just don't see who she fights. And Scott Coker actually said that. He said, I don't know who she's going to fight over there. So even him just saying that indicates that there's probably not going to be a cross promotion, and him just kind of setting the table for her to be able to fight actual fighters and give her an offer that the PFL wasn't originally willing to make.
Yeah, that's true. And they were the biggest offers. But, according to Mr. Buffer, the UFC is where you make like a greater name for yourself. I remember Michael Chandler talking about a story of when he was hanging out with like a bunch of his friends who were in the UFC when he was very prevalent in Bellator. About like someone wanting them to get a picture with all of the people he was hanging out with, and they handed him the camera and said, "Hey, can you take this picture?" Yeah. And that really like hurt his like pride. And so it like inspired him to sign up with the UFC for the last part of his career. Do you think that might have? Do you think like maybe that could have made her like
oh yeah.
Do you think like thoughts like that, like, oh, if I'm in the UFC and I start like waxing a bunch of girls at 145 or whatever girl is left at 145,
yep.
Like I'll have like a bunch of like fame and potentially like more fortune and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you think that she considered that when making her choice?
No, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like she feels like she's that girl already, and like I don't know. I think she just really thinks about the fights, but I don't even know anymore. Like this was crazy news to me, especially knowing all the intangibles. But for me, that is the X factor of the UFC. That's an intangible that money can't necessarily pay for, because we all say it is when you get that credibility, whether it be from your peers or whether it be from the fan base, is extremely rewarding. It's extremely rewarding, and when you're working your ass off, and you know that you're among one of the best fighters in the world, per Michael Chandler's story, and you don't get the recognition for that, it's almost like, what the hell am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I need somebody to see like this. I'm better than these guys, and I'm taking their picture, but they have the machine behind them. So I think people like Kayla Harrison and people like Michael Chandler are perfect for the UFC, even if they take less money, because they're going to end up making that money on the back end in some kind of way, especially with their business acumen and just being around the sport for long enough. They can just make it work in their favor. So there's no kind of marketing machine like the UFC. So there is a huge personal brand aspect, especially being somebody like Kayla Harrison, who is a judo Olympian, waxing people, 2-time PFL champion, coming over to scare people in the UFC. I mean, that it would have done wonders for her brand, would have done wonders for her visibility. Yeah, something like that is a no-brainer to me. I'm the type of person where I would take less money up front. Make sure I'm cool with the deal. Maybe it's 2 fights, 3 fights. Take that, wax the people in front of me, and then leverage that for a bigger deal. But use that platform to grow my fan base and to really grow my legacy.
Speaking of that, speaking about legacy and fan base, Henry Cejudo, and Kayla Harrison. Henry Cejudo has been like chatting shits.
Yes.
About I keep bringing up social media because, like I said, I enjoy the tea, but I don't know. Cejudo seems like he was clapping at Kayla Harrison, talking about like how.
Wait. He was clapping. I didn't hear this. Well, what happened?
You didn't hear any of this?
I didn't hear this.
Like he was talking about how if because of course he was doing his normal thing, like trying to stay as relevant as he possibly can, and then like Kayla, I think like talked about how like he's not that great, and then Cejudo was like, hey, yeah, if you had a medal for every like what was it? It was like if you had a medal for like if there was a medal for like beating like bums You know, just beating nobodies. You'd be like Michael Phelps or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, Jesus Christ, he
went for
murdered that girl.
Yeah, he went for it.
But yeah, no, I thought they were homies. I thought they were cool though.
Hey, anybody could get it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Unfortunately, we're in that age that anybody could get it, and like, if they are cool, then they still might be cool. That's not like a hard enough swipe, especially for two people who are Olympians. Like in any right, it's fucking hard, you know, even if you are fighting no name people. So if they're cool, they could still be cool. I don't think this necessarily takes it off the table, but that's hilarious. Those are the ones that sting, and that's what we're talking about with like being in the UFC and taking away that, because you could get your ass beat by somebody with no name, and that's word to the bantamweight division. You know what I'm saying? And these are gangsters, and you're not getting the credibility for it. So I mean, it happens, but it's a good swipe. That one hurts.
Nah, no, it was a damn. She had no response after that shit, bro. I was like,
those are the ones that that's hurt. Hey, those are the ones that hurt, man. Because
I was like, Jesus Christ, like, I was like, why'd he do her like that?
Boy, don't give two.
But yeah,
fucks.
no.
Hey, what were you gonna say?
It was pretty funny. Like, it was just like pretty entertaining. He's been yelling at her. He's been coming at
McGregor.
He's been coming at whatchamacallit, McGregor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he be popping off. He be popping off. Hey, man, let him do what he does. Give him the attention. I don't really care. But speaking of somebody who needs a little bit of attention, we actually talked about this either last episode or a couple episodes ago. But it is finally set.
Oh, it was because he's training with Chris Cyborg.
Oh,
he's helping Chris Cyborg train.
I see. The plot thickens. It's chess moves out here. They're like, okay, you know, go ahead and say this. Get my name out there. Boom, news cycle. Get a little bit of there you go. That's exactly right. But yeah, so
all right. Tell us about tomorrow.
Well, I got one more thing that I really want to talk about. Then we can talk about tomorrow. But Ngannou finally has his knee set to have surgery on. But it looks like it is going to be 9 months that he's out. So what
9?
9, dude? Yeah, 9 months. Yeah, and the surgery will happen next Friday.
Bruh, so 9, like the number 9.
Yeah, bro. 9 out 9 months.
Like upside down 6?
At least, and upside down 6.
9, like upside down 6, 9.
At the minimum. Yeah. Suck that in. Yeah. How you like that?
Bruh, I'm low-key sad because, bruh, like, I mean, most of his fights are all great.
Yeah.
Except for the one we should not speak about ever.
Yep. We're not going to talk about it.
Damn, man.
Yeah, 9 months. So that is a lengthy time. That's a long time. So most likely another interim belt. Something's going to happen. But what fights would you make? I know there's an obvious one out there, but Tai Tuivasa is talking, saying he wants Stipe Miocic next.
Bro,
yeah.
We all know, we all want John Jones to, like, I don't know, have something to do with that. Like, we all want John Jones, you know, it's obvious.
Right, exactly.
Everyone wants John Jones. We want to see how well he does at heavyweight. We want to see if he's still able to have his, like, tactical, like, advantages that he kept, you know, when he was in light heavyweight. And it's just so frustrating that, well, one, of course, he keeps, like, getting himself into trouble. So
Facts.
Making it kind of, like, hard optically to, like, enter MMA or enter back into, you know, the cage with, like, I don't know, like a good look at you. But then again, it's MMA.
Yeah. If there's any sport.
Yeah, that's true. Especially combat sports where there's just a lot of, you know, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. All right, Shaquille? There's a lot of them.
I know.
But anyway,
9 months, dog.
I would like to say Stipe Jones. I feel like stop me if you think I'm wrong or like logically not, making a lick of sense. I feel that they are keeping the Tuivasa fight open-ended, so John could possibly make like an entrance into a Stipe fight. Like, and if John isn't ready still, then they just like,
I see.
They just like, they just put Tuivasa.
I would like to see Tuivasa versus Gon. Like, fuck it, let's go, let's do it. Let's fucking party. Let's fucking party, man.
Do you want to give Gon another fucking interim belt?
I wouldn't do it for the interim belt, but my best case scenario would be Stipe Jones and Ty for the interim belt, and then Ty Tuivasa and Gon.
Oh, versus Gon.
Yeah. Those are the fights that I see that I would make within that 9-month frame.
No, that makes hella sense. That's a good one.
Yep.
I would say the same. Definitely Jones, Stipe, GOAT versus GOAT. We all want it. It's probably that headline's that's a easy headline for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and like it's a very easy headline if you build the right card around it, and you put the marketing money behind it. It could be one of the biggest heavyweight fights of all time.
That's true. That's facts.
But let's go ahead and go over it, man. Let's get into it.
That's neither here nor there. All right. We are coming up on a pretty stacked fight night. It's sneaky, man.
It's sneaky.
It's a little sneaky, man. It's just, like there are many little like fights on here that just seem so little like inconspicuous and like no one really notices. But like it is low key just action from top to bottom.
Dude, highlight some of the fights that you like that we don't have, that we're not going to go over. Just quick, like what you're looking forward to.
Chris Moutinho.
That's going to be interesting.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's back and he's ready. I think. I hope. Like I really low-key hope that he's,
It is going to be interesting, man, because he had a hell of an entrance, a hell of a debut to the UFC. So, yeah, man, I'm excited for that fight as well. I'm also excited to see Trevin Jones get back in there.
I was just about to say that.
Like, man, boy got dynamite in his paws.
Bro, a lot of these people, man, like... Then you got like Miranda Maverick, which
that's gonna be huge.
We want to see if she's like for real.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's just like we know she's for real, but she's been on obviously a bad loss, but also a controversial judge's decision. So she's on an unnecessarily, it seems like a bigger skid than she's on, and obviously did not have the best outing. She's switched teams and going through a lot, but we know she's for real. We just got to see if she can put it together, despite the setbacks. Because sometimes those setbacks, they get to you. But I'm also excited to see Khalil Roundtree get back in there. And I'm saying,
yeah. Then you have Roundtree, and then just like Jesus Christ, man,
Sadiq Yusuf, Alex Chris. How do you say his last name? Caceres?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a sneaky card, man. But yeah, let's get into our first featured fight.
It's a sneaky card. Okay, so we have the Slayer of champions, Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva. One is an ex-Glory kickboxing champ with very minimal MMA fights to his record, but where else are you going to put him? Like, are you really going to put him against like amateurs and
makes no sense.
Like somewhere in fucking like Ohio at a stampede or something
in
like
a barn.
No, you're gonna put him on the main fucking stage, Shaquille, to fight Bruno Silva. So this is what it looks like. Bruno Silva's like most of his wins seem to have come from just bopping people. And I'm wondering if that's like going to be if he has a striking game plan against an expert striker in Pereira, which I feel like maybe it would be like a slight mistake. I don't know, man. It's like it's hard to tell, especially looking at his background here. But man, like the dude, he's also had like some like TKO, like ground and pound wins. So like takedowns and whatnot could be part of the game plan to like get him. But like Pereira is like tall. He's lanky. He's hard. We already seen that it was hard to take down from someone who is just a straight up wrestler.
And for somebody who's tall, and lanky, he has a pretty big legs. Like he's not necessarily, his base is big, man.
It is. I think like, man, wouldn't it be nice if they could just set him up with like no wrestlers, no BJJ people, no grapplers.
It's not even right, man.
And just like send him to the top by just fighting strikers, and then like just have him fight Izzy, and then the promotion of him knocking out Izzy, of course, will be like
it'd be crazy
up front and center through like every single like.
So you want him to just go against strikers, so as he rises, he sends people to the morgue.
I mean,
because he's messing up a lot of people, bro.
I mean, if he
messing up a
it.
lot of people. But this is why I'm personally picking Alex to win. But it's purely for the storyline. It's purely for the storyline. Like, goddamn, I mean, that's the fight. That's like a career defining fight for Izzy, in a way that like he always says this. Like things come full circle. He's player one, and for him to have a full circle moment against this guy. Who's kind of held that knockout over his head when, Izzy was an active-ass fighter, man. I mean, hundreds of fights, hundreds. But, man, I'm picking Alex. He looked amazing in his last fight. I'm not completely convinced that wrestling and grappling is really going to be too much of a threat for him. He is a big middleweight. He has a strong base. And most of all, we saw what happened last time somebody tried to telegraph a takedown. It doesn't work. Not with this level.
They got their gray matter splattered into the goddamn stands and just left on the ground to rot. Yeah, and it's pretty crazy. I'm really excited. Anyway,
who do you got though?
I got Pereira.
Okay. I was just like, maybe you would have had a sneaky Bruno Silva slip in there just because he is
Bruno Silva.
He's a vet.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's tough, but man, like Pereira, like he just murders people.
I'm excited for him, man.
Just kills them.
Oh
yes, I know.
Are they opening the card? They're not opening the card, are they?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for that fight. He's going to be on a rocket ship if he wins this. But next up, we have Drew Dober versus Terrence McKinney. Actually, I'm gonna just go off a format that you saw this man at the neighborhood Walmart?
I saw him at the neighborhood Walmart. He was getting just some like random little scraps of like food that he's allowed to eat for cutting, and I looked at him, and he was like a muscular dude, and you know, he has a very distinct like facial features. For like sure. He has his like block-like chin, and like just like I don't know, his face is just sculpted.
It's hard to mistake him. Like he has
it's hard to mistake him. And I looked at him and I had to think about like, oh, like do we, you know, like I feel like that's Drew Dober, and he was of course like wearing like tight like sweater, and so he was like really muscular. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, kind of makes sense. He looked like he was like kind of close to my height. So
I was just about to ask, did you size him up or what?
Bruh, like he obviously works out a little bit. Yeah. So I was just a little bit. So I was like, when like I was like, it's probably I'm probably not like I'm probably tripping. I'm tripping. And so I go and I start like checking out my like, you know, those little cheese thingies, those cheese wheels.
I fuck with
those.
That's
what I was buying. I was buying some cheese wheels.
What are those called? The Bambis? I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, fuck.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
But yeah.
They slap hard.
They're so like, good.
They're too good. They're good for zero reason.
I can't buy them because I am I'll kill all of these in one session kind of guy. I have no self-control whatsoever.
I never buy that bag.
It's the worst
bag
decision.
of those cheese.
It's the worst decision. Yeah.
Bro, I will kill all of those in a day.
So did you talk to Drew?
He passed by.
Yeah.
He passed. My story's not done, Shaquille.
Dude, we got on cheese. I was trying to get past it.
Okay, so he passed me, and I was like, hey, are you, like, when he was walking past, I think he saw me looking at him, so I feel like he slowed down. I was like, are you Drew Dober? And he was just like, yeah, man, how you doing? And I was just like, oh, hell yeah, bro. Like, I shook his hand. I was like, man, dude, I was like, bro, I'm a fan. Like, keep bopping fools out here. And then he was just like, tune in this Saturday. Watch me like take out another dude. And I was like, hey, all right, man. Bro, let's go.
I will be tuned in. That's so cool. Bro. You know, and for all the fight fans out there, he did not mention the podcast at all. And we talked about him a whole episode before. He could have just been, dude, you're the fucking man. We just fucking talked about you on this fucking awesome podcast called 10-8, where it's unanimously the best podcast out there, so you should definitely check it out. But yeah, man, I just wanted to give you some fucking love. I think you're an awesome fighter. I think what you're doing, the life that you're living, is fucking incredible, man. So we had to talk about you on the podcast and really dive into that. But anyways, man, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I know you're gonna kick some ass. But yeah, he's fighting Terrence McKinney though, and Terrence McKinney.
I don't have any practice with clout sharking,
dude.
You know.
he said I can't clout. I think it's a compliment though. I was just like, hey man, like, hey, it's not even like, you don't even got to check it out. Hey, I was literally just talking about you on our podcast. Don't even bring up the name. You're like, oh man, that's cool. What's your podcast name? Oh, it's 10-8. Oh, that's fucking clever. You guys are fucking geniuses. Yeah. And then you walk away.
Oh, I just don't want it to be like, you'd be like, ugh. God, another motherfucker.
Well, he just is like, well, he probably is like that anyways. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? He's Drew Dober, but he seemed rather excited to meet you.
That's true.
You know
like he seemed excited. I don't want to like ruin that shit. And I'm like, fuck.
I get it.
I'm like, fuck. Like I don't want him coming at like being like, ugh, God.
But what if he did watch it and then he's just like, this is a shitty segment. Like, goddamn.
I'm dead. Like, wow, what are these motherfuckers doing? They're joking about me buying fucking, I don't know, salmon at the fucking local Walmart.
Well, if you would have,
this is the worst fucking podcast I've ever watched on the history of podcast.
If you would have told him to watch the podcast, it would have honestly been about us talking about how handsome and Captain America.
That's true, bro.
Like.
Facts. And we're like, bro, his chin is ridiculous. Like his jawline is absolutely insane. Like that's true. Like, bro, I want to listen to a podcast like talk about my fucking jawline.
Of course, hey man,
for a solid.
It was at least
like
3 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it was at least. Yeah, it was up there. It was up there.
Bro, okay. Anyway, the fight.
He's fighting Terrence McKinney, who is also
Terrence McKinney, who's coming on this fight for short notice. What do you think? Who do you got? What can he do to win? Do you think McKinney has a chance at all?
I do. I
coming
think
in
McKinney,
on short notice.
I do think McKinney has a chance. I think it's an uphill battle. I want to pick Drew Dober. I do, and I think this is really Drew Dober's fight to lose, so to speak. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Terrence McKinney. More so a momentum thing, and I think McKinney is well rounded, and he can give Drew Dober some extra things to think about. He just needs to avoid the power shot and just be on his P's and Q's. But I think he can mix it up and just get Drew Dober in his head, so to speak. Drew Dober has recently been choked out by the likes of Islam Makhachev and is coming off of a decision loss. So I know he definitely wants to get a win, and the pressure is going to be there to get a win. And if Terrence can get in his head and put extra thoughts in there to mix it up, it could be a lot of pressure for Drew Dober. So yeah, I'm picking Terrence McKinney. Who you got?
Drew Dober has some thunder in his paws, man. Dude hits.
He does, and nice footwork too.
Yeah, he has nice footwork, man. He's just able. I really need to like dedicate myself to do more film study on like, I wouldn't say Drew Dober is a lesser known fighter, but like he's not one of like the ones that people that like unless you're decently into the sport, I wouldn't say like casual, but like I don't know. Then you'd probably know him. Like if you're well into the sport, especially the lightweight division, you probably know him because like, man, dude puts people like to sleep.
Oh yeah, it's not
joke. Point is, it's hard to bet against him. There's a lot of heart. He hits hard. I'm gonna go with him. Totally based on absolute logic because that's completely what I use to determine. It's just what I do.
How much money you putting on
what I do? I'm putting. I'm putting. 500 rubles.
There you go. That's his confidence, y'all. All right, let's get into the next one. 500
rubles. That's a lot of money in Russia.
500 yen.
Well, that's unfortunately more than my 500 rubles. Anyway. So man. Oh man. So Marlon Moraes, of course, takes another difficult-ass fight against the young, rising Song Yadong. And Jesus, man. Like,
this is a tough one.
Granted, he's in bantamweight.
Yep.
So literally every
sucks.
single fight he takes, you're worried.
Yeah.
You're worried that he's going to get put down. Like, his last win was a controversial win against Aldo.
Yep.
Who, like, just came to the bantamweight division. And I'm like, man, and he takes these fights so quickly.
He's ready to go, man.
He is ready to go, but I feel like maybe he should just take a break. How old is he, 33?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that feels right. 33 or 34.
Yeah, well, that's not like super young in the bantamweight division, but that's not like
it's not over the hill.
Tremendously old. Like I feel like you can at least sacrifice a year of training.
Yeah.
Or like maybe maybe it'll do good for like recovery and like just everything like of that.
And he's nasty,
But,
and
like,
he's still good. But yeah, I mean,
no, he's still, bro. He's a great striker.
No.
Great striker, man. Great movement. Like, but man, like the chin.
Oh yeah,
dude. Like,
yeah,
the chin. Just man,
it's going a little bit.
I don't know.
It's going a little bit.
And it wasn't even in the last fight. It wasn't really even his like chin. I think he was just like spent. Like he just blew his entire load trying to take out Merab, and like just got tired. And then Merab
that was a crazy fight.
back.
I mean, he should. I mean, I'm not gonna. That was a fight that he could have won. You know, that was a close fight.
He could have.
Like, he had his window. He had his window,
happened.
and then Merab just, he just keeps his feet churning and ended up getting that dub. But this is a big spot for Song Yadong, like you said, rising. He's getting there. In a co-main event, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this fight. Who do you ultimately have raising their hand at the end of the night?
Emotionally, I want Merab to win. I really want him to like
Morales
take it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Merab. Sorry, goddamn.
You're good.
Moraes.
Mm-hmm.
I want Moraes to win because I want him to taste victory. But right now, it just seems like Yadong is just on fire. Yadong's on fire.
How old is he, too? God.
He's 24.
That's nuts to me. Like, this guy he's 24, co-main event. I'm not sure the rankings for Marlon, but, I mean, you just look at, like, Song could win this fight. He could win another fight, take a break for 3 years, and come back and still be at the top of the division. Like, he is that young, So it's really impressive, and that's really a testament to his skill set. He's going to be a tough night out. He's going to mix it up. This is going to be a dirty fight, y'all. This is one of the ones that you make sure that you're watching on this next fight card. I'm going Song. I'm going Song Yadong, man. Rocket ship. Let's go to the fucking moon.
Yeah, man. I could see him competing for the title, like within like a year or so.
Which is crazy, by the way.
It is crazy.
It's
so wild
just to even be in that position. But all right, now to our featured fight, our main event. We have Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev. This is a banger.
All right.
This is going to be crazy. Obviously, you have the striker and fucking Santos, and then Ankalaev, who is just kind of, he's all around. He has dynamite in his fist. You got the fucking Warhammer chest on Santos' fucking chest, and Ankalaev, we know what happens when people who look like Abe Lincoln get up in the octagon. There are some fucking issues. There's problems to be had. So who you got in this fight, man?
Exactly. Who do you have in this fight, and why is it Ankalaev? Just a question. I just want to know. Just a simple question.
Oh fuck! Oh shit! I don't know what to do here. Yeah. So Ankalaev is gonna win. Just because he's a monster, man. He's gonna mix it up, and like he has that element. Don't get me wrong. Like Santos can win. I just think he's at that point in his career. Yeah, I mean, this is a big deciding factor to see what direction the rest of the Santos career kind of plays out. But Ankalaev is he just got it, man. He has the power. Striking isn't bad at all. Obviously, can grapple and clinch and all. I mean, it's just a problem. It's a problem for Santos. It's going to be an interesting fight, though.
Just all around, Ankalaev definitely a title contender. Like, definitely will be in the future.
He's undefeated, right?
And it's just, bruh, like, my God, like, you just bet the house on anyone that has like a V at the end of their name and has a Abraham Lincoln beard.
Bet on
no
it.
mustache.
Bet on it.
Like, just everyone just coming down from the Caucasus Mountains just to take over the UFC and the Bellator and everything. And it's just, man, it's just so wild to me.
Yeah.
It's actually wild to me how just crazy. And it's just in the culture. And just like the Sambo background, it's like pretty much just prepares them for this sport. You know?
It does.
But
they're riding on top of the wave.
Crazy. But when it comes to light heavyweight, we've seen people who we thought were just simple, like older gatekeepers, become king.
Literally,
from just putting their, lifting their bootstraps and putting their nose to the grindstone. Is that how the saying goes? Whatever, doesn't matter. All I know is we've seen people who we thought were just like regular, like gatekeepers, become champions of the division, and we've seen it twice. Exactly, and we saw it also in old boy Polish Power.
It's true, back to back.
So it's possible in these heavyweight classes, like just one punch can just decide.
There's some exciting fights in light heavyweight, man. I'm excited to see this play out because let's say Ankalaev wins. Betting favorite, put your money on it. DraftKings, shout out. But you got Yuri, who's just like literally the War Machine Titan, coming forward. Just fuck it, like I don't care, I'm good. And then you have, Rakic's last fight wasn't like impressive, but nonetheless he has looked hella impressive. So there are a couple fights. So I'm excited. And if Santos wins this fight, he just reinserts his name back into that picture, and who knows what can happen, when you got a dynamic striker who can keep you at distance. I would be excited. And, like you said, emotionally, I would love to see Santos' story play out. But man, when you look at somebody like Yuri, who's fighting Glover Teixeira coming up, and you're going up against somebody like Ankalaev and have somebody like Rakic in the mix as well. It's just such an uphill battle within those 3 to 4 fighters.
Man, yeah, and it's so crazy. I really want, my heart's with Santos, man. I feel like he can maybe pull it off, man. If he just. Ankalaev, he mostly for the most part he strikes, so that's like not too bad for Santos,
right,
who also generally likes to strike. Even though he's high ranked in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he generally, all of his most of his finishes have been from just like, just taking him out with his hands or feet. And but, yeah, I like.
And when they're in there, it's gonna look like Ankalaev is bigger. We're gonna see a little bit of a size difference as well. So
that's true, bro. Ankalaev, man, yeah, he's like, bro, it's the biggest Dagestani dude that I've seen so far, man.
Yeah, man.
But
problem. He's gonna be a problem. All right,
it is a problem. But where does he go? Who does Ankalaev fight if he wins?
Depends. Shit, Anthony Smith wants that.
Jamal Hill.
It's just so hard because Ankalaev is really undefeated, and it depends on how he beats Santos. If he beats Santos, but yeah, I mean,
if he beats Santos,
this is how I look at it. How many fights would he need to be in a title fight after this? Obviously,
maybe like 2.
Right, like it's
2 max.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to think. Jamal Hill could be a good one. It's just really hard, man. It's really hard in this division because there's just scheduled fights that we need to see play out.
See, the fight that everyone wants to see him in, if he gets through Santos, is the 3rd rematch with Ion Cutelaba. Now, you may be thinking, why would you make that fight? All right, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking because I'm totally bullshitting right now, and I think it'd be totally hilarious if they made a third fight between those three because, they already, they replayed that twice or they replayed it once.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be super funny to just have a third fight. And let's move on to our segments.
Yeah, let's do it. So, fucking smooth ass segue there, buddy. But
yeah, man. You know what else is smooth?
Hit me with
my picks on, what was it, MGM or DraftKings? DraftKings. Hey, I like my skin. And you know what I like to do with my skin the most besides moisturizing it? I like putting it in the game. See, with BetMGM, I could put more BetMGM with sports.
This dude's fucking our sponsors up right now, guys.
With sports clips, I'm able to put money on any fight I want, and even possibly get money from if they punch them in the face.
That's crazy.
Holy crap, that's crazy! Swing crazy parlays, have fun with your friends, and most of all, win high money, win a lot of money. Just by simply fucking putting as low as $1 on your favorite fighter to win.
I think $1 gets you
crazy parlays.
I think $1 gets you 100 if they land a punch.
Oh man, yeah, dude, isn't that crazy odds? I think those are crazy odds. What's also odd is this sponsor, but I'm going to keep going. Yeah, dude, my picks for this coming our main event card is Pereira, Dober, Marlon, might fuck up my parlay there, and Magomed Ankalaev. Use promo code 108 with letters to get a couple bets free and join us on the 108 podcast for this exciting card. Get you some money in your pocket. Have a good day. Anyway, Shaquille. What loose ends are you trying to tie up with me with the ending of our podcast?
Oh yeah, so fucking did you hear? I mean, this kind of flew under the radar, but Kara France and Askarov are scheduled to fight coming up, and that's obviously a huge fight. But
wow,
did
you mean that they make more fights in the flyweight division? Besides,
yeah, believe it or not, dude.
Besides Figueiredo, and
dude, it blew my mind, and the fact that it's not even that far away blew my mind even more. But what does this mean for? I mean, obviously, this is.
Don't ask what does this mean for Cody Garbrandt. Please don't ask what this means.
All right, this is my next segment. No, but no. Please don't ask me. Honestly, it's not a bad question, though. It's not my question, but it's not a bad question because I'm curious.
Man.
Put him up against Sugar Sean. But no, what does that mean for Brandon Moreno in the flyweights in general?
Man, it means fresh competition. It means that we can finally move the division forward. We can finally get some decent movement and more exciting fights because now because of a lot of the the Moreno and Figueiredo have definitely had eyes put on the flyweight division. So now that there's more attention, we can
yeah,
we can do this. We can do this with the division. We can move shit around. We can move shit along. Yeah, we can do this. We need to do this. Moreno Figueiredo is great. I can watch that shit 1,000 fucking times.
Facts.
Every time it's a banger. But
selfishly,
we need motion.
Yep.
We need freshness.
Who do you have coming out of that Askarov? Askarov ain't no joke, man. He's undefeated, and Kai has been on. So, who do you have coming out of that fight and eventually fighting what seems to be Figueiredo for the title?
My heart, Kai. My mind, Askarov, dude.
He's the man.
Dude's killing it right now. and like just the reach and the grappling and I don't know. I haven't seen Kai really deal with all those things to really say.
Well,
so
we've seen him barely deal with it, but it was an electrifying fight. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was about to get submitted, and then he just held on for dear life, and then all of a sudden,
that's true. That's true. That's
flipping
true.
the script. So like, if Askarov holds that position, he probably wins. But yeah, man, I'm interested, and I'm also interested to see what happens next with Brandon Moreno. I'm guessing you make the rematch between him and that guy that they should have fought for the title. What's his name? Do you know his name off the top of your head? I should have looked it up. Sorry, fight fans. This is poor prep on my part. But yeah, I can't remember his name. But they fought before. He just won. They were kind of setting the table for it, but it ended up making Figgy versus Moreno 3. But yeah, I think that would be the fight to make for Brandon Moreno. And my heart goes out to Brandon Moreno. I think he should kind of be champion. I think obviously Figgy's a great champion, and I'm a huge fan of him. But it's just a weird ambiguity there that just kind of we'll see that fourth fight at some point. But yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, but I think that's who would be next for Brandon Moreno.
Man. Yeah, let's bring up these rankings. Let me bring up these.
Do it.
Athlete rankings. Figueiredo. Are you talking about Alexandra?
Yep.
Pantoja?
Yep. There you go.
Or Perez?
I think it's Pantoja, right? Look, click on if you could look up Pantoja's record. Whoever Brandon Moreno has already fought. He might have fought both of them. But.
Oh, it was. I believe it was Pantoja.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I'm not.
Who beat Brandon?
Right, and
in the past,
and Pantoja just recently had won, so it was looking like that they were going to queue up that matchup, but it didn't end up becoming a championship because of timing or something like that. But yeah, I think Pantoja versus Moreno would be probably the next fight to make because Pantoja just beat Brandon Royval by submission. So, and has lost to Askarov. Those V's, man, you got to be careful with those guys.
I'm saying, just bet the house.
Bet the house. Word to our sponsors. But yeah, what do you got for us? Anything?
Yeah, so I've really been following like everyone else, you know, the buddy cop movie that is Darren Till and
they got a bromance going, don't they?
Huh?
They got a bromance going, don't they?
They do. I know. I'm waiting for the wedding photos and stuff. But been following them. Been weird. They've been like hanging out. Just like
look at that.
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead. Look at him. Look at Abraham Lincoln. Like they're just mad chilling. Him and Darren just chilling together. And like, has there been any other bromances in MMA that have been like this good?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. But
not DC and Khabib.
The reason why I can't say that is because they wouldn't. There's no chance that they would ever cross paths. But these two individuals could definitely cross paths at some point. So the fact that they sparked up a bromance to kind of help propel each other within divisions that they both can theoretically compete in, yeah, it's interesting. I don't think we've seen bromances before, but not necessarily in competing divisions. And I know Darren Till's not making 170, but Hamzat says he can make 185. So it's a technical threat. And usually you don't spark up those kind of bromances. But I think, it's kind of like tides, raise all the boats, so to speak. And, obviously if you're Darren Till, the kind of confidence that this gives you when you get back in the ring is immense. And for somebody like Khamzat, I think it just shows the kind of character that he is, and that he's not all like combative, that he's
just murder all the time.
Right. It just,
I kill you, brother.
It just shows another aspect of it. And I love the bromance. I think it's a good move for sure for Darren Till. I'm not sure how much Khamzat is getting. Obviously, Darren Till has a striking pedigree and a big body for you to practice on. But yeah, I think it's awesome, man. It's very weird to me, but I think it's awesome nonetheless. I was hearing Michael Bisping talk about a story about him in a car with them, and they were just driving fucking nuts.
Yeah, swerving.
Yeah, I'm just like, see, I can't fuck with that bromance. I'm not trying to be around it. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all motherfuckers, not here for it.
They're like frat.
Literally.
Bros. Like, they're like frat kids, bro.
Which is awesome. If you can, you find somebody to tap into that with and just enjoy life and takes the pressure off of fighting and all that stuff. Good for them. But yeah, it's one of those unlikely things that I didn't really see. But at the same time, you're like, for Darren Till, you're talking about getting some fresh mindset, fresh ideas, ways to kind of fill in your gaps. I mean, it's awesome. We know Darren Till's a problem with the hands. We know he's strong. We know he's, upper echelon with the striking. But, the fear of wrestling, the fear of getting put on your butt and getting kept there, like, ruins a lot of strikers. It's one of those things that it is a hell of an obstacle to get behind, which enters my next segment of, are you ready to finally admit that grappling is the superior art?
Yeah, well, I'm under the philosophy it's not the art, but the artist. Regardless, it seems that the meta right now is like good boxing and really good wrestling. Actually, no, that's been the meta for like a long time, just being like the wrestle boxer. Yep. But like right now, combat sambo is in. Just like heavy chain wrestling and ground and pound.
Which is devastating to some strikers. Because if you think about it, like somebody like Umar Nurmagomedov, that dude's scary. That man is fucking terrifying. Like, fuck fighting him. Because you actually have a legitimate threat of getting your head fucking sent to the rafters, man. And I have the threat that this motherfucker can ground me and just beat my dog. It's crazy to see the evolution of it's almost not even fair to put them in the same category as wrestlers anymore. They almost like broken off into their own section with how dominant they are. But I cannot wait for the day because it's all puzzles and problems and all that kind of stuff. I cannot wait for when somebody has the answer. But how long do you think that this style will potentially reign over combat sports?
Well, there have been like a lot of like metas and I guess, patch notes and a lot of stuff like that. Like I remember, I think a long time ago, it was like simply just like mounting and like getting like the ground and pound. Like people for some reason could not just escape mount. That was like early MMA days. Then later on, of course, it was just like, man. Then later on, it was like simply having like a decent boxing base was it, and then of course it just changes. Like the better people get, but like the question is like, when do we reach, I guess, like the peak?
Correct.
of it.
Are we at the peak?
Like, when do we reach the point where it's like this is as good as it's like gets, as humanly possible as far as like technique goes, and like this is like the final like meta, you know. Then there's like, of course, like calf kicking and like just being a wrestle boxer that just I don't know.
All right, for the young fighters out there, since we are talking about this, if you were starting out for the first time, starting on your mixed martial arts journey, let's say you're 15 years old. Say you're a freshman, 14, 15.
High school.
Yep, 14, 15 years old. How do you go about strategically building your skill set?
Well, if they for some reason were just dead set on MMA, like, let's be honest, like, try and like, this exactly what Jorge said he would have done. Like, got his grades up and wrestled. Wrestling, in my opinion, trumps like having like really good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. If you have like really, really good wrestling, you just need like the minimum amount of jiu-jitsu, like blue belt level to purple belt level of jiu-jitsu to be able to get yourself by in MMA. After that, because it's like, to me, it seems like it's easier for a wrestler to become a somewhat decent striking and integrating his wrestling than someone who is like a really good striker for all of their life and then like has to catch up with like wrestling,
right,
or any grappling art whatsoever. So I go wrestling in high school, hopefully also in college. And while that's happening, you enter like a boxing club or an MMA gym and be able to like take the kickboxing, boxing courses to be able to like get your hands ready.
Right.
And then like a good MMA instructor would be able to help you blend those things, like being able to box into level changing so you can like quickly like blast double or single leg, like high crotching and doing all those other like crazy like wrestling takedowns, or, you know, like fundamental like judo stuff, like, you know, to like sweeps and trips and like whatnot, you know, like to help.
So,
but yeah,
what would you say that timeline would be? Because you said high school to college.
Wrestling.
What would the timeline be for like somebody to go from 15 years old to what age to start maybe doing this on an amateur level?
Man, I'd say like probably start amateur stuff at like 21, like amateur bouts like at like 21, and then like going in like this is after, of course, joining like an MMA gym that would properly be able to help you like properly utilize your wrestling for MMA. And then like as soon as you're 21, you like maybe enter like, you know, some regional something, and then you build yourself up from there. And then I guess the rest would be history.
There you have it, kids. If you're looking to get into MMA, start with wrestling. Obviously, we did not do that. Something that we both wish we would have done, but position over submission is something that they teach in BJJ, and is very obviously the focus of wrestling, and why wrestling is
the whole
point of it. Is to get dominant position. And if you can just figure out how to manipulate your body and manipulate your opponent's body to get that position, then all you need is a general understanding of submissions and submission defense, and you're going to be a problem to deal with. And you add in striking and good footwork and stuff like that, and just you'll be a well-developed person. And really, the thing that you really want to train for, which will be weeded out if you start at the age of 15 wrestling, is the fear of being on the ground and your mind going into a frenzy state of not knowing what to do, which happens to a lot of people who start wrestling at an older age. One, you can't get the good reps like that. And two, you're just not used to being there for a longer period of your life. So if you can immerse yourself in that kind of environment, then you're just kind of almost battle tested and already in the moment, or already in the kind of mindset of being on your back or on the ground or in these tough positions, because there's no kind of simulation that you can get like high school or college wrestling. It's just going to be so hard to find as an adult. So that's really the best window to learn some of that kind of stuff, man.
That is facts. And, people are getting genuinely just better. So I feel like it's more people kind of figure out that formula.
Can you imagine
to be able
when we're old? We're old, but when we're like fucking 65, what MMA is going to look like?
Bro, it's going to be robots controlled by virtual reality, in virtual reality. And
I'm here for it. Fuck it.
Have you seen that movie Real Steel?
No, but I know what you're talking about. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like Real Steel with fucking...
I'm here for it.
What's his name? The Wolverine actor.
Dude, I'm here for it. And there's another show that's kind of like that. Have you seen that Love, Death, and Robots? I think it was the first kind of season.
Yes, bro. Love, Death, and Robots. That shit is the shit.
And that girl was controlling. I mean, shit, man. If that ever happens, I'm here for it. Fuck it.
Oh, controlling the monsters.
Yeah, controlling the monsters, right?
Yeah, with her mind. Yeah, that's the future of MMA.
Here for it.
We're gonna make organic copies of ourselves and then use those to fight.
Fucking here for it, dude. What else you got?
Yeah, just meat bags. Well, that's about it for me.
Yep, same here. I felt like I had one other thing. I even I was about to write to remind myself, but never wrote it, so it's gone. It's gone. Well,
it's all good. Well, thank you, MMA fans, for joining us, hearing us fumble around words and try to make ourselves think that we know about the sport of MMA.
Facts.
I am your lovely, beautiful chocolate host, JoJo. And that's, of course, just regular Shaquille.
Yeah.
Signing off. Please like and subscribe. And enjoy the fights.
Man, that was so disrespectful. That was such a disrespectful exit. But yes, tune in Saturday, May 12th. Santos versus Ankalaev. Going to be a crazy bout. Remember, DraftKings, his picks. Get your money. Get your bread. It's easy money. Use the promo code 108 and we will see you guys hopefully next Wednesday. I think that's what we're going to start doing from now on. And then immediately after pay-per-views when those fights come up.